The failure shocked the nation. It was not a failure of courage. The operators were brave and they were skilled, but it was a failure of organization. The Special Operations Commands. America's first real attempt at building a coordinated special operations capability came during World War II, when the Office of Strategic Services, better known as the OSS, was established. This organization specialized in espionage, sabotage, and in working with resistance movements behind enemy lines. Its agents laid the foundation for much of the covert and unconventional warfare doctrine that would follow. When World War II came to an end, many of these organizations were disbanded. The OSS itself dissolved in 1945, but much of its intelligence tradecraft lived on in the newly formed Central Intelligence Agency. Despite the lessons learned in World War II, America largely allowed its special operations capability to atrophy. By the time of the Vietnam War, the need for unconventional forces was clear once again. The Army Special Forces, better known as the Green Berets, were deployed to train and advise indigenous forces in counterinsurgency. Navy SEALs perfected their riverine and guerrilla tactics in the Mekong Delta. Air Commandos, flying older aircraft in new ways, provided close support and insertion for unconventional units. In 1980, the world saw just how fragile Americans' fragmented special operations system really was. During the Iran hostage crisis, Operation Eagle Claw attempted to rescue Americans held in Tehran. When helicopters failed and the plan unraveled in the Iranian desert, 8 Americans had died. The services had elite units, but they lacked a command structure that could make them truly joint and effective. This disaster triggered a long, painful debate in Washington. Lawmakers, military leaders, and veterans all agreed something had to change. The United States needed a way to unify its special operators, give them shared training and doctrine, and ensure they could plan and execute as one. That change came in 1987 with the creation of the U.S. Special Operations Command, or USSOCOM, headquartered at MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. What made SOCOM different was not just the patch or the name. The new command was given unprecedented authority, its own budget, its own acquisition powers to buy equipment, and direct access to the nation's highest leadership. SOCOM was built to make sure that the failures of Eagle Claw would never happen again. Within SOCOM, the Army provides the largest share of Special Operations Forces through the U.S. Army Special Operations Command, or USASOC. Headquarters at Fort Liberty, North Carolina. This command includes the Green Berets, the 75th Ranger Regiment, the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, better known as the Nightstalkers, along with psychological operations and civil affairs units. Green Berets specialize in working with foreign forces, training militias, and waging guerrilla campaigns. Rangers bring light infantry shock power, the ability to seize airfields or conduct raids at the battalion level. The Nightstalkers are legendary aviators, flying helicopters into the darkest of nights and the most dangerous of missions. Together, they cover the entire spectrum of unconventional warfare, and they have learned to work together. The Navy contributes through the Naval Special Warfare Command, headquartered in Coronado, California. Its forces include the Navy SEAL teams, the SEAL delivery vehicle teams, and special boat teams. Navy SEALs are perhaps the most famous of Americans' commandos. They specialize in maritime direct action, reconnaissance, and counterterrorism. SEAL delivery vehicle teams train for undersea infiltration, while the special boat teams provide fast and covert maritime mobility on the surface. From the jungles of Vietnam to the raid on Osama bin Laden, Navy SEALs have proven to be America's maritime raiders. The Air Force contributes to the Air Force Special Operations Command, headquartered at Hurlbut Field in Florida. Their units include combat controllers, pararescue jumpers, better known as PJs, special tactics squadrons, and specialized aircraft crews. Combat controllers are unique. They can parachute into a hostile area, set up an airstrip, and then control the skies for incoming aircraft. PJs are combat medics who risk everything to pull wounded comrades out of danger, often running into fire when others are running out. Special tactics teams combine these skills with precision air-grounded integration. Above them, AFSOC's gunships and tilt-rotor aircraft provide firepower and mobility. The Marines were the last service to join SOCOM, but in 2006 they finally created the Marine Forces Special Operations Command, or MARSOC, headquartered at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Their operations are known as the Marine Raiders, in honor of the legendary World War II units of the same name. MARSOC Raiders are trained for direct action, special reconnaissance, and foreign internal defense. In Afghanistan, in Africa, and in undisclosed locations around the world, Raiders have proven themselves as flexible, reliable operators. Within SOCOM exists a unique subcommand known as the Joint Special Operations Command, or JSOC. This is the most secretive and elite element of America's special operations structure. JSOC commands units like Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, the 24th Special Tactics Squadron, and it works closely with the Nightstalkers. JSOC is tasked with the most sensitive and high-risk operations, capturing or killing high-value targets, counterterrorism missions, and global manhunts. They operate in extreme secrecy and are often the ones called upon when failure is simply not an option. From Mogadishu to Iraq to a Abbottabad raid against bin Laden, JSOC has been the tip of America's spear. After the attacks of September 11, 2001, Special Operations Command grew dramatically. No longer a supporting player, SOF became the main effort in America's wars. AFSOC provided the mobility and the striking power, while PSYOP and civil affairs units helped stabilize villages in Iraq and prepare the population. SOCOM forces hunted down Saddam Hussein and dismantled insurgent networks night after night. In Afghanistan, they pursued the Taliban across mountains and valleys. In Africa, Asia, and Europe, they quietly trained partner forces and built capacity. At any given time, American Special Operations Forces are operating in more than 70 countries around the world. They are truly a global network of shadow warriors. But this global presence comes at a heavy price. The operational tempo has been relentless. Some operators have deployed a dozen or more times. Families strain under the burden, and too many marriages have broken under the weight of separation. PTSD and invisible wounds linger long after the battlefield. And then there's the ultimate cost. Names etched into memorial walls. Brothers and sisters lost in the shadows of missions the public will never know. These warriors carry a legacy of sacrifice. And though much of their work is never seen, the impact is felt in the safety of millions. From the OSS in World War II to today's Global Special Operations Command, America's elite warriors have been forged in fire, in failure, and in courage. Their history is one of constant reinvention and unshakable dedication. And here on Blue Steel Heroes, we will keep telling their stories because the cost of facing danger every day deserves to be remembered. Please subscribe, turn on notifications, and click that like button. Thank you very much and see you next time.